gotta put the camera up. Oh, I'm sorry, Giorgio. Giorgio, everybody. Hello. The man. The Chihuahua. The legend. He's got a cherry eye. He's tired. I think the cold weather does not agree with his body. So, let's see. We're here. I'm gonna just share the live with, hold on. And I might pull our camera up a bit so it's out of frame, but wait, we don't have our other camera. Is it not working? Somehow I'll add the camera. If I can find it. Okay, there we go. Wah, 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 wah. We did it. We've done it. We've got our little camera here set up so you can see what I'm doing with the okay. Hopefully that's good enough. Okay, then let's go on to the YouTube studio and find the live. Live. We're streaming live to you right now. But okay. Okay. Send. I was looking up like cat expressions and their eyes to get a little information to make sure that I'm like representing them in a happy way, you know, rather than like a I'm murderous way or like a, I don't know. The cats are fun. And there should be a chat. Let me see. The chat. Okay, now it's up. So we've got this painting pretty well situated. Oh, this poor dog. And we've got one more painting to go for this set of two. I really like the way that we've captured like form and light, and the depths of the darkness is really nice. I like the tone. I think that when you're painting gray, it can be too blue, or it can be too purple, or it can be too blah, you know? I just wanted to give it a little bit of interest, and I think that the gray that we've created is it's like a purple gray. It's blue purple. We go from a little bit more of a Prussian blue, which is a cool blue, to is Prussian blue cool? It's extremely dark. It seems like maybe it has a little more red in it than yellow. So that would make it a warm blue. Phthalo blue is a cool, very, very cool. Wait, this gets confusing. When it's blue, we think of blue as being the cool color, right? There's warm and there's cool blues. So, I think Prussian blue, it gives like really cold to me, like very cool. But anyways, it's our darkest kind of value, and we've got some of that kind of blue in here. And then there's some purples in there. I definitely went heavy on purples in this region so that we could get that contrast. The fur is not 100% done, but I was like sketching in with the paintbrush what we were doing. Whenever I sit down to a painting, also I like to do a little like brainstorm of what has been done, because I'm not in the same mentality. I like the colors popping through. It reminds you that this is a painting and not a photograph. But I'm also open to covering that up and changing it. I'm just gonna check and make sure in case I got a email. And it's totally on me for being late today. I really like working in collaboration with my commission clients. Like, I really like to talk to them directly about what it is that they're looking for, and what we can do to enhance that vision. And so whenever I do commissions, I offer to live stream it, and I also offer to have them in the chat or to hang out while we're painting, but it's not a requirement. In case you're like, I want a commission, what's that like? Or I want to do commissions, how can I set it up? And I find that it's like a special touch that not every artist knows how to live stream, or isn't always confident and comfortable doing it or familiar with it. So I think it's just a nice personal touch. Today we're gonna add in that background, a little blankie. I think we'll just make the whole thing a texture. I love the purple that's back there, that muted, beautiful violet, but we're gonna amplify it with because we're going pretty cool, very cat, purple, blue, gray for our kitty. Even the green of the eyes is sort of like an olive gray. So we're gonna push our background to be a little bit more of a muted warm, right? The whole thing is sort of muted. The eyes are so piercing, aren't they? Like, okay, as I pet Giorgio. So we've got sort of a rough plan of what we need to do. I hope Reed's able to join us, but if not, we'll truck through, we'll get stuff done and start on Mazzo, which I think is really Sometimes it's if you're doing two paintings together, like a series or something, it's not a bad thing to start on one, pause, start on the next, pause, look at both of them, integrate some different same like color palette or some similar brush strokes into both of them, so then it's very cohesive. Some artists like naturally just do that. They only have one style, they only have one, you know, like they've developed their style, they've developed their color palette, so every painting they make is cohesive. I switch it up so often. I like to try different things, so, and I try different colors. And I think lately though we've been on like a pretty solid color palette situation. Oh, Giorgio, he's so comfy. You're so comfy. I wish you could see him. He's just the comfiest boy right now. He's sleepy. Sleepy bean. Okay. So this guy is on my lap. That means I have one hand and only one hand to use while we do this painting. I know. He's like, if you could just like stop moving, that'd be great. You can keep talking, but stop moving. I'm sorry. Okay. Ugh. Giorgio is my whole heart, so it's totally fine. We'll make it work. I'm gonna move our camera angle. It's not in our face so bad. Just a bit. Maybe it's even more in our face if I move it. Excuse me, can you move your head? Just for a second. Thank you. It's almost more in our face. Here, we'll do it like maybe like this. There's a lot going on over here. Is that an okay angle? Like, is that? These are the behind the scenes moments, okay? Wait, how come it shifted totally? Do you see this? I'm not doing barely anything, and the camera's like, oh, you want me to turn completely that way? Like, no, dude, I don't. There's Giorgio again. Da 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 da. There. Oh, did you see that? Flips. Rude. That's incredibly rude. But I'm not doing anything. Do you see this? It's rotating. For why? Witchcraft. Okay. We're gonna try it a different way. The price of my love is a price you're not willing to pay. Na 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 na. You'll be back soon, you'll see. painting like this, just so you know, so you're not going to be the first angle here. Okay, okay. Let me just flick our secondary light on. We need more light to paint. It's a little dreary day in America. We should write our own play about being artists during horrible times. Let's see. That's good. We can do that. Do we need this? Do we need, like, is that too much? Is that too much? Yeah, you're really actually getting the behind the scenes of what it takes to stream stuff. I'm not opposed to it. I just think if we do that, we're going to need I have a wood panel and I would put behind you. Something to keep her firm in there, you know? I wish that this lip was lower. Alright. We're getting there. We're getting there. One thing at a time, friends. One thing at a time. And then we have glare. Golly. Okay, so to get rid of glare, I want light, okay? I need light! But, a light is not lighting right in here. And then if I have the light there, I guess that's okay. It's not too, like, glary, I guess. I suppose. To remind you of my love, da 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 da. Now, it may just be us, and I may be just talking to myself until you watch this, and that's fine. But let's move this light. I have another light. We have so many lights. Is it perfect? Is it good? Are we there? We have accomplished something here today. Friends, family, witnesses to our success. Oh, okay, so it doesn't matter what angle I put this thing at. It wants to just be where it's at. Okay. Alright. Alright. Party people. Those are like the most obnoxious little tiny tasks you have to do before you start painting, right? Oh no. Okay. We got that situated. have a small boy on my lap. Here. Here. All right. Good, we're good. Let's get into our piece here. And let me check. Okay, good. Our bit rate is low, but it says our status is good. Interesting. These are interesting things. Okay. If anything happens, let me know and I can figure out how to make it a better streaming scenario. Sometimes if I just leave, it's better. Like, leave from the internet. I'm gonna leave from the internet for now. Okay, if we need it, we need it. We'll get it back. All right, we're here and we're ready to get into these paintings. I've got my coffee. Part of the process of painting is just staring at your painting. We can warm up those ears. Refresh our little paint palette here. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's get into the painting. If we're gonna do that knit fabric design in the background, let's get super intricate, right? Let's get a nice kind of cream going. And whatever we do, we want it not like a very, very bright. We don't want it quite that bright. So introduce a little cobalt. But now it might be even brighter. Let's put a little bit more orange. A bit of dioxazine purple, just a purple. I am so scared to go dark in my colors. I need to look at the values. I need to be able to do that. Maybe that's right. Maybe that is right. Right, we've gotten desaturated a little bit. It's not quite so titanium white forward. The value's down. It's kind of like a purple. It's purple orange, so it's like a very muted brown. Okay, we're here. Let's try it. I'll bless you. All right. And I feel like we need to do sing-alongs. Okay, let's just see. Let's see. Still looks very, very bright. What we can do is we could go down with a brighter, like lay this down, and then come back over it with a wash of acrylic. Just like watered down, or you can put a little medium in that and fill in to the right value that we want it to all have. Let's see, how do we get that texture? And do we want it to be like a little wavy? Or do we want it to be really straight? Because it looks like it's for the knit fabric like that, and then it's almost, is it like this? And then we'll have a loop, a loop. And that little like loop that comes up. And I'll make it more defined, but just to figure out how we're painting it. Does it make sense to do it straight across, or does it make sense to do sort of like an envelope, a little babouche, a little, you know, an arc. I feel like if there's a little bit of movement in it, that would make it less the focal point. Because right now, look at this is kind of where we're at. But before it sets itself, you can take a little off. I love these paper towels that you can get little tiny squares of. So nice. Acrylic can just wipe off like that, which we love. Okay, so the Yeti doesn't pick up every noise. And just for a tester, I want to see what it's like if I were to let it pick up noise. This is the, I'm just switching mics now. This is the mic from the computer. And I think you can hear the whirring of the computer. And then the Yeti doesn't pick it up because I did a little filter setting. Then you can hear like all the I'm gonna test. I want to see what that's like. Versus you can't hear that, can you? That's one of the best parts. I don't want it to pick up the compute. Hold on. Hold on. Is that better? I think that's. I think. Just testing noises. I know I haven't started painting, but we'll do it. Okay, so back. Can you hear that? No, you can't hear my breathing. Oh, you can hear my exhale. But you can't hear me swallow. Okay, I'm sorry. If anyone is watching this, hi. Sorry. We're just testing things. Okay, so we have a cute kitty here. We have Grendel. Just like doing some final steps before we get our full background done. And Grendel has like a favorite blankie. It's a chunky knit ivory cream color blanket. I am trying to figure out what the best thoughts are for like the back. Do we just create a regular pattern of that chunky knit? Do we incorporate movement and flow into it? These are the questions. Do we create a pattern of flow? How do we do it so that we're not taking away from the cat itself, right? And this is a little piece, but I think that these little choices make a really big difference, and they're very impactful, especially when we're talking about a background, right? We still want it to remain as a background and not the focal point of the whole piece. The portrait of Grendel itself is pretty fast. Like, it took a long time to do, but it's like the motions of the paint strokes are quick, and the shapes of the like dimension are pretty roughly put in. They're not, you can still see some background in there. Excuse me. It's not like photorealism or anything like that. I don't particularly do photorealism. I'm focused more on like how to identify the energy and the emotions of a character, person, creature, and replicate that. So, through an artistic lens. So, how are we going to do the background so that it does speak to that? That it's still stylistically cohesive with the cat's portrait and not taking up too much of our mental energy and visual fields in our visual field, right? Our client is going to stick this into a frame, so that's why it's on a flat canvas. So it'll be all cozy, cute. It may have a really intricate frame that makes sense with the background. I'm not as worried about that right now because our client will do the work and will know what they want. But now's the time. Do we do something where it's like it's almost landscapey? Blankets lay in all types of ways. Should I just throw a blanket down and see how it lays? We could, I don't know, man. And then there's blanket. The blanket pattern can go up and down, or it can go side to side. And I'm kind of inclined. I don't mind the up and down. But then the question is, in our next portrait, our second one, you're here. Hi. I'm rattling on about background and trying to figure out what the best. We kind of tried a little tester of the knit going this way, and I felt like it was too structured and rigid. I don't want it to pull away from these like really organic shapes that we have happening. in Grendel's portrait. And if we could do up and down, or we could make it a little bit more of like a fluid, almost like if you were to drop a blanket, the fluid textures and movements of the blanket. That's where I'm at right now with it. And if you have any input, let me know. I can even like do a little bit, we can cover it back up. Acrylic's lovely in that way. And then you can see what I'm talking about. But my goal here is to make sure that the background doesn't overwhelm the senses when you're looking at the portrait, you know, because it's a portrait of Grendel, not a portrait of Grendel's blanket. Yeah. And so I've kind of mixed up a little muted blush kind of color here that looks, and if we look over here, it's a little bit more of a purpley pink, but it goes well against this sort of orange, gray, blue, purple that we've got there. So it's a good contrast. What we could do is we lay in our fabric, the knit texture, and then we come back on top of it after it's dried fully and add in a little bit of a a glazing, which is just really, really thin, almost translucent, but it'll change the value so that it can like tone it down a little bit or warm it up a bit or cool it, whatever we need to do. But I think the most important thing right now is figuring out direction of our knit. And it can be really fluid. I've been looking at the image that you sent, and there's like this sweep up with a hook down, and then it comes back over. And I think that, honestly, just like how it's in the picture, might not be the worst. I might have to, you know, like exaggerate and keep it going down so that it meets. But then that way, it's like leading the eye around the painting. Which as a painter, like that's supreme goal, is to make the audience want to linger with their eyes and look everywhere. Rather than like a picture, sometimes the focus is getting the viewer to look where you want them to look, like at that one thing. Questions, would you rather have it very like straight, and the way that I was doing the brush strokes, oh, you can't see it there, is like this. They look like this for the blanket. Just so you see it. They're like this. It's almost like a grid, right, of the knit. And then we come back in and we put a little loop right here. And then we can come back over that again and like redefine it, but that's essentially how you paint a chunky knit, right? So that texture, we could just have that really cohesive across the background. Easy peasy. The fluid. Okay, let's try. Let's just do it. And then I can always come back in and update some of the values afterwards, but the back side of the knit is a little bit different than the front side. Ooh, more pictures? Okay, let me look at those. And just let me know if the volume is off or weird, or I'm still messing with figuring out how the best way to do live streams on YouTube are. Oh, these are great pictures. With the tongue. So I think definitely we're going to, as we're putting in the background, I'm going to tighten in a little bit on both sides, just a little, because he seems like he's got less chunk. I think that this picture was just him completely being cozy, and maybe the angle, so we'll kind of tighten that up a bit. Frosting from a cinnamon roll? Oh, what kind of luxury. That sounds like I want cinnamon rolls too. And then just update, while we're painting, there's a small boy on my lap. Oh, is it working? He has been a little lethargic from all this cold weather, so he's requested lap time today. So we're one-handed. Oh, he's 13 pounds? Dude, Giorgio, this guy's 15. It's funny because they're very similar in size, aren't they? But I wonder if does Grendel make your lap go to sleep when he's on you? Giorgio definitely is excellent at that. I think we'll go just under. In landscapes, we usually would want like an eye line, something that'll, because the eyes are going to draw you in, but then like the mountains behind are usually somewhere mid-head, depending on height and like where you're at and stuff. But it's really cold here. Are you guys having an extreme cold snap down there too? I know my family in Texas is really worried about the cold. They've been posting about having to figure out how to make sure they have enough food for several days in case they can't get outside of their houses. People can't drive in the south in the cold too. When it starts snowing, they're immobilized. Okay, so this is seven inches of snow. Oh my gosh, we got 0. It was too cold for snow here. We passed it down to you guys. Are you originally from the Oklahoma region? Or just there for like work or something? It's scary. They also don't know how to drive with ice. Granted, nobody really knows how to drive with ice other than truckers, but I would hope everybody can hunker in. Okay, a little bit of that like knit texture truly coming in there. I got you. gonna end up, I just want to make sure I like plan the swoops right. Gently, gonna come down here and go up. You know what? I think we need a little tape. I know, little boy. I'm just gonna, because of this lip, I can't get to the very bottom of our painting easily, so I'm just going to make a little paper painter's tape. Voila. And I'm gonna do 2 of them. Stick it up, and it'll be good for us. Oh, so what is your impression? Have you been like working super hard so you don't really get to explore Oklahoma or like the surrounding areas, or have you been able to like get out and just like travel a bit and see some stuff? I'm originally from Texas, and I love I love traveling Texas. It's so beautiful. And typically the people are actually pretty nice down there too. At least when you're traveling around and doing stuff. I'm gonna leave it. I was just thinking like I should kind of put a little bit of a darker color in there. But good reminder that we can always come back in and alter things. Do you have a favorite place to live so far based on the places you've experienced? I've thought about living in Texas again. But now, with all the infrastructure issues, I don't think so. You think Madison? Alright, cool. Oh, gee. Well, that was not a minute. That was so fast. Speedy. I like the organic a lot better. I think that was a really good, inspired choice. We'll go a little bit darker in here when we get to that part, but here we can kind of build like almost like a sunrise, rays coming out. Oh, Georgie's breath is kind of kicking. There's some delay. Okay, hold on, let's see. Okay, I wonder. I don't know what all the settings mean. I watch YouTube videos to figure that stuff out, but I just changed one, so maybe it helped, maybe it made it worse. Who knows? We're gonna come. Oh, okay. No worries. Okay, good. I was like, oh no. It's like when you watch a anime and it's the dubbed version or any foreign film and it's like dubbed in English and you're like, I don't know if that's what they meant. Okay. Let's see. That'll kind of connect back up there. Like this. And I'll just put in that ceiling. There we go. This part is kind of easy once we figure out where we're going with it. And I might even do a version that's just slightly darker in value. And then we can come in in some spots and kind of give it another layer of interest. And go darker in some areas. Oh, you're okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Do you need to go down, Georgie? figure out our sitting situation here. Okay. A little bit of something here. Okay. Oh, you want to go down. He's not comfy. Maybe you need water. Go on. All right, what are we thinking? I just looked at the screen again. I like it. I think that I needed you to come on and help me figure out what we were doing. And then up here, do we want the blanket to stop, or do we just want, I can just kind of ad-lib a little. The whole background, it's almost like Starry, Starry Night. You know what I'm talking about? The little Cat Van Gogh moment. It almost feels pointillism-esque, but am I entering into my pointillism phase now? I've done pointillism before. It's not for the weak. Ad lib it? Okay. We will do just that. I think we'll just go another like layer up essentially, but here it'll be like a lighter and brighter part. Bless you. Oh, did you go to Amsterdam? Did you go to the House of Van Gogh? Poor Georgie. Oh, that's so fun. I had a friend who went. And she brought back a Van Gogh palette. She got each of us one, which I have yet to use. It looks really cool. and kind of create this ear thing going. And maybe build this up to an edge here. And then over here, maybe you go the opposite direction, just to draw your line of sight into Grendel's eyes. The wheat fields with crows. I don't think I'm even familiar with everything. I only started painting in 2021 and didn't really have a lot of time before that to get into art. I want to go. Do you recommend it as a trip? Should I put it on the list? So right around here we'll have like a different color come in. Build up that fold, and then over here we'll have that same color pop up. Ooh, what do you do for work? That sounds like they love what you do, and you must be really good at it, that they're sending you all over the place. Netherlands? Ooh, that sounds beautiful. Alright, it's on my list. It's places to go, things to do, people to see, art to make. And like I said before, we can always like go over with the glaze. Do you like the sort of like purplish, pinkish, muted colors that we're using? Or do you think that it needs to be more on the like neutral side? You had a conference there? Oh, that's amazing. I pet sit sometimes. I pet sit a lot. But I had a friend, artist friend, her partner got invited to go to Vienna for a conference, an academic conference, and I got to take care of their team of cats, which is there a limit to how many cats you want to have in your life? Because I think that in part they had so many because my friend was doing her PhD program right next door to where, or in the same building as the place where they have like the veterinary services and the veterinary school. And so then they would send out these like heartfelt messages saying that they had animals that needed to go home. And then she would like come home with extra cats. You like the colors? Okay, we'll keep the colors. I think they're really beautiful. And it's a nice balance with like the warm or the cool gray blue that we've got going on. Right? Vienna does sound like a lot of fun. It sounds like a lot of exploration. I wonder where all they have their different academic conferences at. Like, where in the world could you possibly be sent? Yeah, they ended up having at 1.6 cats, and they have a dog. They're really nice people. Really nice cats, too. Really sweet dog. But definitely a team. A whole squad. I was impressed by how they're, more cats, more personalities. I was pretty impressed by how they got along with each other. Okay, we're gonna get, there's like loops. What's Grendel like? Have you gotten to, I know it's your partners, Kitty, have you gotten to spend much time with them? Got a lot of these little loops I want to get sort of pointed. He's currently under his blanket fort on his heating pad snoozing. Oh, that's amazing. This is the time. That I think we need like human-sized heating pad forts. Did you grow up building forts for yourself? I just remember living room forts were the best. on snow days or like days where we didn't have school, we'd usually build them. Let's see. I might have to suggest all my adult friends hang out and build forts at someone's house. Like, yeah, bring a blanket. And you knew you were like you had made it in Fort World if you had like a fan blowing in the summertime, a little fan blowing into your fort. And we even got fancy with it, and sometimes we would drag the TV in and we'd watch Pokemon. My grandma had gifted us a whole set of us as in myself. She gifted me a set of the whole like VHS Pokemon movies. Peak childhood. Okay, so we've got sort of more of that yarn texture coming in. There's a shift right there with like a fold. But shift right here with sort of like a fold. And then we'll kind of peek up over here again. And then here, how are we going to do this? Oh, well, we're going to have it wrap up, I guess. I love it. It's beautiful. What a great, I love that. I love that he has a little blankie that he loves and that we can incorporate it. Let's see. I'm kind of adding a bit of texture into the painting this way too, so it's not so flat. And leaving some of our little spots a little bumpier. Which almost gives you like the luxurious feel of like oil paintings, which I really love, and I've been starting to oil paint lately. down here we'll do, because we'll have another sweep up. Like that. We've got a darker yet color. We're going to come back in. Maybe I put a little bit more purple and orange here and there. Oh, this is a little warm. This is just a little warm. I'm kind of softening it a little bit. Get in over here and define a bit more of that mid. We do want to switch over pretty soon and get some of that detail work done in layer base for Mazzo as well, just so that they're really cohesive. kind of pink purple color. We can do that. I was looking up pupils and like cat communication to find the right message, because right now this is kind of more like a stare down, like a dominance thing. It's probably not quite the energy. Okay, then let's get back into a little bit of that blush without cleaning the brush. Keep it kind of cohesive. And come up over that purple to blend it. Was that an F35? Yes. Which is why I usually paint at night, because they're so loud, and when they first started training, they would hurt all the dogs' ears. And this one dog specifically, who lives across the street, I was walking, I like had to hold my hands over his ears. Yeah. Well, I live really close to the Crafty Fair. I'm over like at Ohio, Atwood area. I'm on the lake, kinda. So there, I think I'm like just a few blocks away from the direct path. It's not fun. That's for sure. I really wonder if it's like changed anything about the birds, like where the birds decide to go to, because we've had like eagles over here a lot. They nest by the lake. And then, we get a lot of the birds migrating out here for the winter time, the fall, spring, kind of winter. The trumpet swans come. They did come this year. I just don't, I know like a couple years ago they stayed for a while. I don't know if it's impacting that. It's really pretty. I'm really liking this color. Like the whole background, it's so soft. Oh, yeah, do that. They're gonna want to eat on their travels wherever they're going. So I like it. I like how soft everything is looking. I was thinking I was going to have to define everything more, but I don't actually think that would be a good idea. Let's pull that down just a bit to give it a little bit more interest and shape. Excellent. Do you like the shape that we have going on with the blinkies? I love the organic kind of swirly whirling of the background. That's really, really pleasing. I have another layer to do on our portrait. Just a little bit. And then, okay, good. I'm glad you like it. And then my question is, so these little bits are the background coming through. Do you want me to do, like, this is a little bit of the background coming through that pink. Do you like that effect? So that it shows it's like very much a painting, or do you want that to be kind of like taken away? I can cover it up. If I do cover it up though, I'll probably try to find something that's intense, similar tone, similar brightness, and it might be similar to like more of a bluish. Totally up to you. And then the other part is, what do you want in order to make it like the background? Okay, you like the background. So do you like the portrait as is? Do you think that I should pause on it and call it done? And we can also do Mazzo's portrait, and then we can look at the two together and think if there's anything that we need to change. Another thing that I might suggest is with this kind of purple color is just giving a little, like, where you have that blue glow, going in and putting a little bit of purple or pink to like match the background. And where I could do that in like the fur. So then the background and Grendel kind of are together. It's not necessary. That's the only thing. It's definitely not necessary. And I can even do like a little tiny bit to show you what it would look like, and then you can be like, as long as you're really fast about making that choice. We still don't have whiskers in. Don't let me forget, we need whiskers. with the fur and background. Yeah, let's do that. I'll show you. And then you can be like, I don't like that. But you gotta be quick because acrylic dries fast. But I can remove it. Okay, so this would be one. Like that. With the most gentlest. Yeah, we can pause. The gentlest little bit of like a pink in there gives just a little bit more of a connection. And even like that, this. But I'll stop here and just do that. Right? Because like this is a super small little spot, but already they look connected. There's very little bit, and the other place I would probably do it is like in here. It's a little bit, but I think that it's like enough to feel like it was painted at the same time and in the same place. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just a little. And then when we put those whiskers in, you know. Okay, and it's just a little. Like, I didn't want to change the entire energy of the portrait, but I think that that little bit does give that a different atmosphere kind of comes through. Okay, let's pause on this piece because we can always come back in and we can alter things, we can change things once we see the other, because I do want them to look like they're a couple, right? Like that they're together. And that helps when I use the same paint. Okay, I've got my coffee. Cheers. And pull that off. See that tape? Perfect. It works so good. I'm just going to, let's see, set. I'm going to put them above. That'll do. So then I'm reminded of what I'm doing. And then we'll take the next canvas up and we can get Mazzo in. And is this timing okay? I know we started a little bit late. And maybe we do like 1 to 2 hours max just to get into it, and then we'll have maybe one more session, and I think we would probably be just getting those last final details on for that last one. Okay, send it to me. Excited. And it's okay if we end up changing everything. We haven't started. Does she know about this now? Is this like it's not a secret? Was this a request kind of gift? Alright, and I'm just going to go ahead and flood our canvas with a little bit of grounding color. And then we can have a conversation about what we want to do. Because, you know, this one We can totally change what we're doing, or we can do exactly what we had done before. Okay, it's still a secret. Another hour. Okay, let's set a timer, and at the end of that hour, we can just respect that time and pause, regardless of where we're at, because we can come back to it. And I'm just going to ground this piece with the same color that we had done the other so that it's really cohesive. I think we used like this muted violet. Okay, it came through. Let me look. Yay, they're here. Aww. These are adorable. Flipped over in the little the laundry basket. Really cute. Oh, we could do, so the eyes on Mazzo there, flipped over in the laundry basket, are like playful and relaxed. We can use that as sort of our guide for Grendel's, because I think they're kind of a little bit more, I read that when they're, people's are more at like a slit, they're like relaxed, and when they're like fully open, that's when they're like high alert. So we can kind of just, can't even see it, we can just sort of like pull the pupil down a little bit and see if that looks better. We can also close the eyes just a little bit, like pull up a little on them, so then it's a little bit more of like the smiling effect. But we can get into that next time. How have you been getting images without revealing that? Oh, and a spicy ears up picture too. Aww. It's too bad that cats don't live longer. Okay, I've got our pictures. And the lovely thing about acrylic paint is like I have the skill, which is great, and also acrylic paint, it dries so fast, so we can like layer it, nobody has to know. Okay, taking my pictures. And I've got another picture ready to go. This was our Mazzo pick. I'm gonna just zoom out slightly and see if that's how we want to do it. Okay, I think I've got it. You ready? Compositionally, that's the only question. Did Mazzo have any special blankets? Is there something we'd want to put in the background? Special toy, thing, color? And we don't need that like immediately, but we can definitely get that for our next one. He had a favorite toy? Okay, cool. Let me put his picture in here. Just edited. Ooh. This is a bit big. Hold on. Okay. So in this composition that we're looking at here, you can see his whole head. The picture that was taken, it's like chopped off. So I just like generated it a little bit bigger. And then, so we would put him pretty much exactly how we have it in the picture. We would, it's a 5x7 crop. So we could slap that right over here, transfer it in. And then for the background, I don't know how much rendering you want that to be, or if you want it to be something else. Just let me know, but I'll be focused today really on getting his features in like we did for the first session for Grendel, and making sure that the colors make sense and the values make sense for his little cute little face. I'm going to edit his picture too so that it's not quite as yellow, just so that the two images work really cohesively. Okay, so I just edited. So I took a little bit of that yellow out, so it's not quite as intense. I think it's just like, you know, housing lighting, which is fine. But now we should have, when we paint them, a little bit more cohesion allowed. And it's we have like a brightest bright and a darkest dark in there, so we're still pretty similar to like reality, just a little altering. Okay, I'm gonna get started with placing everything down and developing out our color story here. If you have any questions, of course, you know where to find me. head. And these colors aren't what we're using. This is just like an underpainting because it's a different kind of angle. So I want to make sure I get kind of like a value study in before we place everything and make sure that we like the composition. It's a lot easier to change something that's pastel like this. Now, I think maybe we pull the box out a bit. It's a little low. And then that way it looks more like that's where his body kind of will end up being. The screen went silent for a moment. Let me plug it in just in case it needs juice. Okay. Everything else is good. A llama? Oh, cute. Okay, go ahead and send it. Giorgio has one. I wonder if it's the same type of thing. Probably not. His is a dog toy. Oh, okay. It's the little blue thing. It's a felt. Is it felt? I wonder if we can find a picture of it on the internet. Blue. Let me look. Blue llama cat toy. Okay, so it's not like, hold on. This must have been like a local shop, like an artist made thing. Oh, I see its little face. Maybe we could put the little llama right here though. I wonder. I know, like, it's got that kind of turquoisey teal color. The box or no box. Like, keep everything but remove the box and just have like a foot. Totally up to you. Was he a frequent box sitter? Sometimes it's nice to have a little like context to it, but sometimes it's nice just to have, oh, you can't see it. Because this is going to be the other portrait, right? So it'll be these two. Totally up to you. And we haven't really done anything yet. So it's like we're at the perfect spot to change what we're going to put. We could do the one where he's upside down is really cute too, but that one is more like a landscape. And I'm just opening up our pictures that you had sent. He's like always in a basket. You like the pose in the box a lot. Just to give you like the painted version. And if you also, like, since we did a little bit of work on Grendel tonight, or today, if you want, we can pause this even, and you can think it over, and then, are you available tomorrow? Or even later in the evening today? Like, we could keep on working. There's no rush, you know. We have 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get this done. So I just want to make sure that you have what you want and make sure that it's something that represents Mazzo and that the two portraits really speak to each other. Okay, let's pause, take some time to think about it, and then what time tomorrow? Um, our all of our appointments freed up for tomorrow, so let me know. Giorgio was supposed to go get his nails cut, but their vet clinic is closed tomorrow, so we are at your leisure. We are available, happy to paint at any time. Just let me know in the afternoon or evening, either way. And if you just want to shoot me an email, then we can talk all those details over and then be back again tomorrow. But I really like how, I'll just put it on camera again. I really love how it turned out. 1 p.m.? Okay, sure. I'll see you at 1 tomorrow. Here's our update with the background added. It's really lovely. And it's not, I was worried that it would be too bright or too exciting, but I think that it's really soft enough, and that the purples and the kind of creamy beige pink, the blush champagne pink really pulls it all together and kind of leave you wanting to look at it longer. It's mesmerizing. Would you want the same pose, but like facing each other? Because we can just pull the body down. If you want them to look literally like mirrored of each other, but with their different facial patterns, we could do that. I'm pretty good at imagineering things. The hardest thing is just making sure that the patterns of Mazzo are there, which we have lots of pictures now. Because I think all these pictures are Mazzo in a box. Yeah, or in a basket. And then if you wanted to, we could either put the same exact blanket in the background. We could change the colors up. It could be like a soft green or a soft blue instead. And then we could paint Mazzo just a little bit more of like that orangey kind of, because he's not gray, right? He's more of a, he's got some more browns in him, and it's a little bit warmer. So we could do it so that they just have two different kinds of a blanket. Okay. Okay. And we have really good ideas. So it'll be beautiful no matter what we do. And I'm looking forward to completing it so that we have a beautiful little set for you. But let me know if anything changes also with your schedule, but I'll do my best to get on at 1 o'clock Central Time so that we can make this all come together. Sound good? And at that time, we'll also look back at the eyes and do some little critical thinking about how we want their eyes to look. Okay. All right, toodles. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a really great